Hey there YouTube, I have another video. Now this is my main laptop, so this is my laptop I use for everything. This is a Dell Latitude d620, and I have a Trump bumper sticker on here so that way people know that I am a Trump supporter. But anyway, so yep, this is Dell Latitude D620. This is a nice laptop, especially for its age. Dell is very good at has always been good at making computers and making them last too. And this will actually do a lot better than some modern day cheaper laptops, which, is kind of impressive. So I'm going to go over the I/O ports. So here on this side, there's a PCM-CIA card slot. There's a smart card reader, which was never common on laptops. There's an infrared sensor. There's a Wi-Fi turner on or offer. Audio in and out, Kensington lock slot. On the back side, your DC power jack, VGA output, serial, two USB 2.0s, modem, Ethernet, and then on this side there's two more USB 2.0s and then an optical drive, and this comes out and it's sort of hot swappable, and there's actually like a battery terminal thing in there so you can get a backup battery for this, which is cool. And then on the bottom side there's a thing you can get a docking station for this, and then under the battery there's snow falling off my mom's car over there, and under the battery there's a SIM card reader. So you can use this if you had a SIM card for this, a SIM card reader for this, and you put the card in there. You can use this on cellular data, which is kind of cool. And then under here, that's the door, RAM door for the RAM expansion. There's 4 gigabytes of RAM in here. Back in the day, if you got this in 2006, because that's when this model was released, you would get 512 megabytes of RAM. You get it with Windows XP. A 40 gigabyte hard disk, and a 1.66 Intel Centrino dual core processor. I upgraded this to a 1 terabyte hard drive, 4 gigs of RAM, and I left the processor because it is a good processor, and I like the Intel Centrino processors a lot because they're actually very reliable, and they are good. So I'm gonna open this up. So there's a track point, which is nice to have. I really like track points on laptops. There's an Intel Centrino sticker. The Windows XP Professional sticker is gone. It was coming off, so I just peeled it off. Yeah, I think this here is for exhaustion. There's like 3 or 4 different like fan vents on here. There's that one there, and I think that's an intake. And then there's one here, and then there's one on the back right there. So yeah, this does not heat up too much. It is pretty good. So this is a decent keyboard. This is actually not the original keyboard, and the first keyboard I had, the first keyboard that was on here that came with the laptop and everything, lasted about 4 months, and then I had to restart it, so I shut it down, and then it never turned back on, so I had to order one and wait a week. And the one I had gotten, half the keys didn't work, so I had to use an external keyboard, and or use the on-screen keyboard, which was frustrating. So after about a month, I ordered another keyboard, and now it works just fine. For a while, I did run Windows 10 on here, but so something happened to the drive where I took out the drive, and it's a SATA drive, by the way, but a ton of the pins fell off when I pulled it out. So and I couldn't put Windows 10 on a new hard drive because I was using an upgrade disk, not a like an OEM install disk. So I couldn't install Windows 10 onto another drive. So I just put Linux on here, and I'm actually very happy with Linux on this computer. It runs very well, and I am happy with it. So we're going to boot up the machine. And one thing, this does have a pretty good graphics chip. It will play things in 1080p. Now, however, the RAM card on the bottom of the machine, there's one under the keyboard and then there's one under here. I took this out the other night and used the computer with just 2 gigs, and actually when I was watching Netflix it played in better quality. So, and I've actually had problems with that RAM card before, where but I haven't had problems with it in a while, but I think it's causing it to play in slightly less quality. So as I might just put in a 1 gigabyte stick under here because it actually only uses 3.2 gigabytes of the RAM. I think that's a chipset limitation, or it's the card that's under here, but I have ran this on 3 gigabytes and it runs just as well. So if I put that in there, it'll probably run better. So I'll put in my password. That's one of the creatures from the new Doom game. That picture, I thought it looked pretty cool. That's the new Doom game, which I have not played yet. I wish I could play it. Alrighty, so I'm gonna connect this to a network. So with Linux is that it doesn't use command prompt. It uses terminal, which Mac also uses. I can imagine that. I'm actually not sure which operating system or which company used Linux or terminal first, Mac or Linux. I'm not sure. I don't really care. When you download stuff on here, however, most of the stuff you download, you have to use command lines. What that means is it's sort of like DOS. When you install stuff on DOS, you have to use command lines to install it. Which I actually kind of like that. It kind of feels sort of retro to me. But I don't play a lot of games on here because that's because a lot of the games that I play, the games that I play are for Windows and not for Linux, so I can't really put them on here. You have to, because when you get games, like, you have to get a version of the game that'll run on the computer. Like on the operating system, like if you want to get Doom for Mac, you have to get one that's configured to run on Mac OS. You can't run a Windows version on it. But that's fine because I use this for I use this at school. I watch a lot of videos on here. And so I'm gonna go into the About This Computer page. Sorry, it's winter and my allergies get all worked up. So there it is. Memory 3.2 gigs. Processor Intel Core 2 CPU, 1.66 gigahertz times 2, which means it's a dual core processor and it's a Centrino processor. Intel 945 GM, that's the graphics chip, and this OS type 64-bit, and 980.9 gigabyte hard drive, which they rounded up to 1 terabyte. So yeah, so I'm going to shut this off because I'm not going to play videos because I actually took out the speakers because at school people like to yank out my headphones and then it'll start playing, so you'll start hear the sound, and it's really annoying. So I take out the speakers and nobody will hear nothing, and the joke's on them because their prank or whatever doesn't work. And this does shut down very fast. Yeah, so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you really liked it. And see you in the next one.